Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. As you can see, it's a special guest episode. We have the fantastic Sania Kelly.
From Sania.
No relation. Yeah, Sania Kelly posing. No relation, which we do get asked all the time. Like, Kelly's a relatively common surname. So, episode 106, welcome back. Make sure that you subscribe if you're not already. Make sure that you follow along on Spotify. Sania is Reece's girlfriend, for anybody that didn't know that. Yeah. And she's also a bikini competitor this year, although she did figure last time, and a posing coach. So I've kind of done your intro there.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything else you want to?
We should mention.
Intro.
We actually said this on the last one. Sania's she's only been called up because basically we haven't been back.
First choice.
First choice. Basically, guys, we've been saying for a bit of time that we should get you on the podcast. We actually have been. And it kind of made sense. Sania's stuck at mine. We're doing the podcast. I wouldn't be able to drop her off. So she had the afternoon of doing nothing. So I was like, right, well...
Well, I had work.
Yeah, but I was like, well, we could get you on the podcast if you want. I mean, we could. So here you are. You got your one chance. Don't blow it. Do not blow it. Right, so, intro. Who are you?
Well, I mean, Finn's done a
No,
pretty
but
good
no, you can
job
go into
anyway.
a greater detail.
Finished it. Just leave the podcast there. That's it.
That's it, right.
There isn't really much more to say. Posing
Come on,
coach.
sell yourself.
Posing coach.
For how long? When did you establish yourself?
December. When was it? Last year? No, 2 years ago. Year and a half ago. I think
So
it was
2021.
Yeah, 2021. I started competing when I was 20. As Finn mentioned, I was a figure athlete back then, so I competed within the PCA Federation in 2021, toned figure. Did pretty well. I won.
You won everything. You won every show. You won every show. So it's like you did all right.
I did all right. I got first place in the first timers. Won the overall with Reece, which was quite cool, sharing the stage together.
Yep.
And then went on to winning the British title that year as well. Then a few months after, I became a posing coach. Like to say I was pretty successful. It took off quite well. Got a few clients, and I'm just growing that at the moment. And then this year, I decided to compete in the bikini category purely based off the fact where I want to go within two bros. It just didn't kind of fit. You have to be a lot bigger and push a lot of things when you want to be a figure athlete.
What a lot of things.
A lot of drugs.
Drugs.
Yeah, I can't say drugs on this podcast.
Yeah, I can't
You're
say
not
drugs.
allowed to.
Sorry, you're gonna have to cut that out.
This is a natural podcast.
Yeah.
Well, that's a natural seat. That's usually where Finn sits.
usually
That's the
a nice
natural
seat.
side of things. I don't think we've
That's the
actually
good
ever
side.
had anyone enhance on that seat.
Did you see somebody commented?
What?
Sorry, this is off topic. We're kind of not, but somebody commented like, Reece chats like he knows what he's on about or something like this, but it's Finn who's got the medals and trophies on his side. So has Reece ever won anything? And I replied, I was like, the third place medal is the only one that's Finn's. So I was on the podcast page,
Yeah.
so I like made out it's not me.
Yeah.
Pretend that admin man isn't me. I'm admin man. So yeah, let's go way back and chat about when you guys met. So obviously, this is a relationship here.
Yeah.
So when did you first come across each other? I know how you found Reece, because you followed
Through
me.
you, yeah.
Yeah.
I followed. I don't know how I came across you, Finn, but I think it was through
big
AJ.
deal, really. Yeah.
Sania Morris.
Sania
Everybody
Morris.
finds me through AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found you through AJ because I remember following you as you were prepping, or
Thinking,
as
wow,
you
this guy's
started prep.
massive.
Yeah.
This guy's shredded and jacked for a night.
Yeah.
I had
Probably
a guy.
did think that, to be fair.
The guy, young lad at Future Fitness yesterday. He works on the desk.
Oh, he absolutely loves Reece.
So he's 18, I think, and he was like, he asked me, he was like, "Is that your car?" And he was buzzing about my car. And then he was a really nice lad. But then he was like, "Are you competing?" So I said, "Yeah, I'm doing like this year." And he was like, "Are you taking anything?" I said, "No." And he went, "No, you're not taking anything. You look better than me." And I felt like saying, "Mate,"
I'm on trend.
"No, yeah." He said something like that. He was like, "And I'm like smashing the test," or whatever he said. I went, "Yeah, but how old are you?" And he was like, 18. I was like, "Well, yeah, it'd be a fucking shame if I didn't look better than you when you're 18. I'm 26. Like, I should hope I look better than you. Probably trained for like 3 years and you're on gear."
Not probably even that. I'd say like probably.
Well,
like
he
a
did-
good
He
6
said
months.
he said 5 years, to be fair, but
Fair enough.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what you followed me through Finn.
Yeah, so I followed you through Finn
Yeah.
because I thought you were quite good looking. Followed you for a while.
Quite good looking. I think you're quite good looking. That's what you're right.
I did not like how you came across on social media.
Right,
though.
I still don't.
Yeah.
Fucking annoying.
At the
Thanks, guys.
start, I remember it was during COVID, and I was training at Lewis's gym,
They hated Reece.
and I genuinely said to him, I was like, "Do you guys know this Reece Fit guy?" And Lewis was like, yeah, I've heard of him. I know him. I've spoken to him a few times. I was like, he's a bit of a twat, isn't he? I really don't like his persona on social media. He comes across really arrogant, and I do not like it. And then he commented about my bum, and
No, and then Lewis was like, no, I think he's all right.
oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, Lewis backed me up.
Yeah,
So
Lewis
I
was like,
just- yeah.
Lewis was like, yeah, I think he's all right, but I think that's probably just how he comes across. I still thought you were a bit of a twat, and then you messaged me about my bum.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just
Bit
carried
weird,
on
that.
chatting to
Bit
you,
weird.
and that's how it was.
Yeah, I just messaged off a story. And
Yeah.
then,
To be fair, I can't say that's what I did, Shannon.
yeah, literally that's what I was. No, but mine
Well,
was a joke. It's like it's just a cocky sort of comment.
Mine was just a
Sanaya then
eye
replied.
emoji.
Sanaya like replied, wanting a
I
conversation.
think it was eat. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Eat question
Yeah,
mark.
and then Sanaya was like commenting, like trying to have a convo, and I was like, oh no, I'm just chatting. Like, I'm not really.
It's just one of the girls he'd
Yeah.
Yeah,
messaged.
yeah.
No,
Guaranteed.
quite
No,
literally.
It was.
Yeah,
No, it was.
Yeah.
And I like don't think I replied.
You went on a fair few COVID walks before me with
Yeah.
other females.
I
Yeah,
remember,
I know,
I
just tell me
remember
all the time.
legitimately having the conversation with Finn, and I was like, "This
Yeah,
Sanaya
you're
girl
the
keeps
person
messaging me," and I was
that
like,
got
"But
us
I've not,
together.
yeah," and I was like, "But I've not really replied to her that much. Like, I don't really reply to her. Like, she just replied to a story, I just leave it, or I'd reply to a story
Too
of
big
hers.
time for her.
No, and then I just
It
wouldn't
wasn't
reply.
a load of times as if you're making it out. It was,
No,
like,
it was like-
it was like twice.
It was about
or
4 or
3
5. It was about 4 or 5 times she
Come
messaged
on.
me, and
I know
I didn't
when-
reply.
I know
And
no-
Anyway, you then were like, "No, mate, you should talk to her. She seems pretty cool. She's good looking." And I was like, maybe I'll reply. Maybe I'll reply next time. And I think I replied next time, and then here we are. So
Yeah.
Finn didn't.
I
If you,
I
if,
Yeah,
influence
you-
people so much.
Such an influencer.
And she was trying to flirt with me on my posts before
she
even
was,
messaged
yeah.
her.
You had
Commented on my post.
when I said I was meeting Finn. when I said I was meeting Finn, when I said I was meeting you, Finn was like, she commented on like a post of mine like 6 months ago, and I was like,
I don't think it was even that long ago. It was on
No,
like a
you were, like,
shoulder press or
looking
something.
sick.
It was
so
it was something
strong.
like that,
It was
like,
such a cringy
okay,
comment.
and
Yeah.
like 3
Yeah.
fire emojis.
It was so bad, and you were like, "Mate, she's commented on some of my stuff," and I'm like, "Really?" And then you showed me the comment. And I was
I
like,
don't remember that.
Oh, fine.
It was.
I
It was.
tagged
It was
you in
like
it. Didn't we
okay
tag her in it not long ago?
It was like
I'm
okay.
sure we
then.
tagged-
Really?
it
I don't
was.
remember seeing
Okay
me
then,
tag.
winky face, 2 fire emojis, kiss. It was so bad.
Such a player.
Yeah.
It's
So-
one of those, isn't it, where it's like you can just tell that someone's trying to get
So
engagement
hard.
Yeah.
on social media.
So you're just commenting on everyone.
Yeah.
I
I
remember
saw-
going through that, just commenting and liking on
I saw a
everyone.
post, one of my, because I obviously put my memories on my stories. I think it was like 3 years ago when I was prepping, and Christian had commented. I didn't even have a clue who he was back
No.
then. Coached by Christian, it said, and it was like, awesome
During COVID
look at
as
this
well.
spot or something like, awesome look at this stage or something. I didn't have a clue who he was back then.
No.
Like, I'm sure I didn't anyway. I think I might have got to know who he was like not
Christian's
long
only
after
really
that.
come out, I feel like, the last year and a half, though, hasn't he? Like, I didn't really know much about Christian until
When did he compete?
Physique Collective, to be honest.
Oh, I definitely did. I definitely
I
knew him
did.
Yeah,
before
yeah,
that.
I knew him before that. Yeah.
I don't think I did.
Let's get him on anyway.
personally.
Yeah.
I did say to him in the gym that we'd get him on. And he was like, "Is that a like you saying you'll message me but you won't?" And I was like, "Yeah, probably." And that's
That's
happened.
pretty much what's happened. So basically, messaged, had a chat. January, I think it was 2021. Wow, that's mad, isn't it? 2021, we met up January.
Mm.
That was during COVID. So the meetup wasn't that official, was it?
No,
Basically
it was a very odd 6 months.
Just
for
invited me round. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Just invited me round. So I was like, yeah, might as well.
Well, that was your first meeting.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird that.
Yeah.
It is.
But everything's closed. You can't really
Yeah,
do
you
much.
couldn't really do
It was
anything.
either go for a walk,
Yeah, you should have done that.
but it was you could only come at like stupid o'clock at night.
No, I was doing my dis. It was when I
Yeah.
was like flat out. So I was like, I've got time, but it's like I'm working at this time,
Yeah.
training at this time, doing my check-ins this time. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't really
And I didn't
move
have
stuff around.
anything on. Like, I didn't have uni. I didn't have anything on. Like, I literally had nothing on. So I was like,
That's
right,
why you were
I need-
messaging loads of boys, commenting on
Oh,
everyone's
everyone.
posts.
Yeah,
everyone.
and then I somehow
Was
made the cut. So,
Good out of a bad
Just
bunch.
the only one that messaged back.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Only one who actually bothered to go round. That's
you're
what it was.
lucky.
So yeah, so basically came round. It was a bit of a weird introduction period to our.
Always is weird that
Relationship.
first meeting if it's at someone's house.
No, it wasn't weird. I don't think.
I
it
don't
was
think.
weird.
No, I feel
No,
like
I
it wasn't
thought we-
weird at all. I
I-
feel like chat was go in really, really nicely. I didn't feel any type of awkwardness.
No,
at
I thought it was
all.
really
That's
good. Like,
good.
I
That's what it was
remember
like.
the
I think that's when
following
you
day.
kind of know that you're quite well suited. That's what it was
Yeah.
like with me and Shannon. Like we just like
You
when
just
we first met.
think
We
Yeah,
was
we
like,
just chat. Yeah, like I remember the first. I could tell you were like a little bit not nervous, but you were like a bit like you were. I could tell you were cool, but you weren't like.
I wasn't like
yourself.
comfortable.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I felt
no.
like you're never gonna be like.
Yeah, you look in the same.
comfortable.
No,
Like,
I was always. I think
you
I
always
came
say that
across-
though.
Yeah.
You think you do, but you don't. In social
You're
occasions
trying to
with new
impress,
people,
aren't
I think
you?
anybody's like that.
Yeah, but you're trying to impress. So, let's say for example, you see someone new and I'm there with you. You most definitely don't act the same
No,
way.
he doesn't, does it?
No
At
chance.
all.
I
Oh,
think
way-
you're
way
one of
more
the
quiet.
people that's like
Yeah.
the biggest
Can I
swing.
have a
Yeah,
question?
I'm 100%
Do you-
like that.
Do you
'cause I
get
don't talk to
annoyed
people.
when, or not annoyed, but Reece says something like, you know, when people come up to him and he'll tell you about it, or like when he's at like a show and people come up to him, like multiple people come up to him, he says, you know, about talk, doesn't like, you know, to talk loads.
Reece absolutely loves
He
it.
absolutely
Yeah.
will talk to each and every
Yeah, 'cause
individual
I'm
person
nice.
for 20.
No,
but
it's
does
not,
it
'cause you
frustrate
love
you?
talking.
Guys,
about yourself.
can
It doesn't
we just...
frustrate me, but it makes
it
me laugh
does
that he
me.
thinks that he
No,
doesn't
I
like
don't,
talking about himself.
I don't say that. You've got to realise, I've got...
He's a big
I've got,
time
I've got
now.
95,000 followers. You're lucky I'm even sat in the same
that-
room as you guys.
We're not talking about
That
that.
shows if people come up to me,
No,
I'm not
it's
going to
not
be rude.
that. It's not that. It's
We're
more
not
so
saying
like
that.
you
We're
say
saying you
that
make out you don't like it, but you absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said I don't like people coming up to me.
No,
No,
but
not
you'll be
like,
like,
don't like.
oh, you know, I just had someone come up, I have to talk to him. Like, it's you that carries it on.
I
Yeah.
don't know
Those
about
conversations could be like 2 minutes, but they end up being 10
They're
because of
20
you.
minutes, and I'm stood there like
that. Guys,
a lemon.
we're talking about our relationship. How have we gone to dissing me at shows when I have people
it's
that
not
come up
just
to me
shows.
because I just happen to have
'Cause
a
you're
load
Reece
of followers because I'm Reece Fit,
No, but
right?
if someone comes up, like people come up to Sania, people come up to me, like, and
I-
I'll have a
I keep
nice
it
chat,
short.
but I won't go on and on about
Yeah.
myself.
I don't talk about myself that much. I really don't. People just ask me questions, and
You do.
unfortunately,
Listen to the last podcast; it's 99% you.
of course, it's going to be me. It's me wrapping up my prep.
Yeah, we were chatting about me as well.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. When you wrap up your prep, it's going to be about you.
No, probably won't.
Let's talk about you. Literally,
But
a summary.
anyway, so we met.
He's a dick. That's a dick. That guys, that is a dickhead sort of comment. That's a rude comment.
Finn's on prep now. You have to allow it.
Yeah, I'll cut.
You
I've
have
been
to
on prep
allow
for
it.
ages. I
Yeah.
just feel like I am now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tell
we-
us more about your first dates and stuff.
Right. So
Oh, it took us. Well, no. To be
We
fair,
didn't-
we didn't have a first date until
Leeds.
October
No, until
2021.
we went to Leeds. That was like when we actually. I feel like we were actually
One
in a
that
relationship.
where we could actually go out for food. There was
no, we didn't.
date, was
no,
there?
but that was when we went to like we did something that was just it was different. You came to
Yeah.
Leeds, so I was paying like this was my final year at uni, and I was paying for an accommodation that I wasn't using. So I said to Sania, like, oh, why don't we go up for like 4 days and we like make a little bit of a trip out of it?
Yeah.
And that was like the first time that we did something other than just see each other for a night, really,
Yeah.
or for like 2 days. Like that's literally it because gyms were closed. Like there wasn't really
You had to
anything
be
do.
home because you needed to train.
Yeah.
I had to be home because I needed to train.
Yeah.
So for literally the first, we were seeing each other for like 3 months. Then we both went into a prep that lasted like 6 months.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Let's talk about that. I'm going to guide this podcast. I think it works well. I'll be
Sure.
like the moderator.
Okay.
So, obviously, you mentioned about the prep. That was what 2021.
Yeah.
So how was that for you guys?
Nightmare.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, it was rough. I think we didn't really, because we didn't have the foundations of like, our relationship was established off like us seeing each other and just like, oh, we actually got on really well. Like that was literally it. Going into then a prep where like, you don't really, like we hadn't gone on a proper date. We hadn't really done that much.
I also
together.
think like because I feel like there was a really bad loss of communication in the sense where you kind of knew where you stood with me.
Yeah.
However, I had zero idea where I stood with you, and as the prep got deeper and deeper, my trust in this relationship got less and less and less, because even though you'd communicate your thoughts and feelings to me, you then stopped doing that because you were in a prep, then also stopped talking to me as often because you were in a prep, which for me, when it wasn't like dead certain when we started,
Well,
it
you
made me really insecure,
Yeah.
which then made me aggravate you and become really annoying.
Yeah.
But I couldn't understand.
You beforehand though, you were
why.
like, your relationships, you were very clingy. Like you've always been very
I
tight.
wasn't.
Like
The difference
No, but-
is they were clingy on. They would
Yeah.
cling always. Every dude that I've been with before you.
you've been with a guy before me.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh.
Multiple.
God.
Every dude, I can't even think of how many.
Yeah, I know,
Every
so, no, I
single
know
guy.
so many.
I know
as
it's
well.
triple digits, but
Right.
I like they will constantly like they were
I
besotted
feel like
with
that's
me.
what most relationships are like. Like every relationship I've been in before Shannon, it's like if you're not constantly with each other or constantly messaging, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas like,
and that's what I was used to.
It's quite an immature relationship, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like me and Shannon now will message like once or twice a day, and then like I'll see her. Like she'll message me when she gets to work, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
"Cool, have a good day."
Yeah.
And then I'll see her in the evening, and it's not like, "What have you been doing?"
Yeah.
Like, whereas when you're younger, it's always like
Yeah.
you're not texting all the time, or you're not Snapchatting.
Well,
it's
you
like,
had an
Well, we
issue
don't
with
live
that.
to-
Like,
Well,
you,
yeah,
no, but
because-
even if you like me, even when me and Shannon didn't, it wasn't like
Yeah.
you messaging all the time. I think it's just a more mature relationship,
I
isn't
think
it?
so.
but you didn't get that.
I didn't know because I think you were
But also, you're
at the
what, like
beginning.
20?
Yeah, at the beginning of a relationship, I feel like you do chat on message more.
Yeah, definitely.
But from the very set go, it was one message at 10 p.m. at night every day. And he'd ask me how my day is, and then it would fall on to the next day. And I'm like, what's the fucking point? Like, you're not making any conversation. And that's why I had the insecurity of, are you actually, like,
Intimate.
But it
this.
wasn't his priority, was it? Like at
No.
the time, it was.
but I made it
coaching
my
and this
priority.
But that's because you had nothing else on.
Exactly, but that's why I struggled. And then prep happened and I still had nothing on.
Yeah.
But that's then when I still struggled, because even though you said, no, I'm fine, I still didn't even know how to handle you because we hadn't spent enough time
Couldn't handle
together.
it. Too much to handle, mate.
Too much to handle.
It's that package, yeah.
But then I didn't know how you still were as an individual away from prep. I knew things about you, but I didn't know a lot about you. So that's why I struggled, because you weren't very good at communicating with me, and the sense of like, I just couldn't.
How
get
did
it.
you feel about the prep?
You found me annoying.
Yeah, no, it was awful towards the end. It wasn't the best. No, it was one of those. Like I said, we built up the we didn't have the foundations of like a relationship that was built in the right way, because it was a bit of a rocky sort of start. But it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't where I was like ever thinking of like, oh, sacking you off. It was just more so a sense where we headed into a
I
prep.
don't know. We had a lot of
You
conversations.
did say to
Yeah.
me literally after I won my British title at the hotel, well, should we end it then? Because I know we had an
Yeah,
an
you were
argument.
you were very
Yeah.
close to like.
Yeah.
But I think it
And
was more so.
I was crying to Shannon after I'd won.
No, but
Like,
I think-
you and Abster just walked away from me. I couldn't even get the chance to get photos. And I was like
Yeah,
crying
I
to
think-
Shannon, and I was like, I just don't know how to make him
I
happy.
think
Like, I'm literally leaving my mates to go have a meal with him. He's upset because he's got second place by some bodybuilder, Axel.
Yeah, I think you
And
were
I was
almost
like,
a little
what the
bit
fuck?
not selfish, but I think you probably didn't think about Sania's feelings because she'd pissed you off a lot in the prep.
Yeah, I think it was one of them.
And I
like,
just really struggled because I was like, I know I want to be with him, but I don't know how to deal with him right now. And I just think I don't know. Like, it was going through my head when you said it. I was like, God, no, please don't. Let's work this out. But also in my head, I was like,
It's
if
not
this
worth
is
it.
how
It's
it,
fucking
if
annoying.
this is how he is, I actually can't be.
I think
arsed.
it was just where like I'd always been very like I'm very content with who I am. So when like I know on my own, I'm like, right, I'm happy. I'm really happy. I love what I was doing. Everything was wicked. And then like towards the latter end of the prep, it was like
You were taken away from that.
yeah, you were very much almost you trying to. And again, it's because we didn't have that sort of foundation. It definitely felt like you were almost kind of like trying to, like it was just a bit draining. You were just quite draining to be around, which I think you'd admit.
Yeah,
and
'cause
then
I
as a
was
result,
struggling.
yeah,
It was
and then
my
as a
first
result,
prep. Never
you
dieted
then
that far before.
yeah. And then as a result, you almost like, as a result of that, you being the way you were, that made me kind of take a step back, which made you more insecure, which made you more
Yeah.
Reece, and that made me go even more, whoa, this is way too much. And I remember like saying to Finn, I think it was outside of Premier, I was like, I don't know, this is fucking worth it. Like,
I remember a few times you'd come and sit in the car after sessions, and you'd like just talk for like 10 minutes at me about it, and like every time I'd go, like realistically, I'd just be like, just wait until after the prep, like just wait until after the prep.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
why
there's
I
no
was
point like deciding anything now when you're both like that. Like,
And then there was like,
I remember messaging Shannon consistently about it. Like, I actually feel sorry.
isn't that
for
a very
her.
weird like?
dynamic.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
we
does
were
that
just
makes no
asking each
sense
other.
because me and Shannon would talk. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't as if Shannon wouldn't tell me what you were saying, or I wouldn't tell her what Reece was
No.
saying. Because obviously me and Shannon talk.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought
Yeah,
process at the
it's
time. I
strange,
was
like-
like, I need to somehow.
You
If
two are
Reece isn't opening
counsellors.
up to me,
Huh?
I need to get into his head somehow to figure out.
His head was just,
What
she's
was-
very annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I want to break up with her, but I'm prepping, so I won't.
Yeah, I didn't want to rush into any decisions.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not obviously going to be
The thoughts
at that point.
yeah.
I'm not going to be thinking thinking correctly, and like no one is, like, you're not.
I remember speaking to Beth, like, I just don't know, like, if it's worth it.
Yeah.
But I remember having the exact same conversations with Beth, like, yes, I get on with him, but genuinely,
It's probably a
I
good
can't.
like insight to people who maybe get in a relationship during a prep or at the end of a prep. Like, don't class those emotions as true emotions,
look at us now.
and even forget that. Like, even if you're not in a prep, or even if you're not just getting into a relationship, like, for example, me and Shannon have been together like nearly 5 years. By the time I've competed this year, like finished this year, that'll be 5 years.
That's mental.
Like, but at the end, I guarantee there'll be things that piss me off that she's doing, and she would be pissed off at me. We won't have had sex for months. That doesn't mean that we've fallen out of love or I don't like her or anything. It's just that your emotions change, and exactly, your energy has to be elsewhere.
Yeah.
And you just have to sort of explain that. Like, Shannon knows that, luckily, but a lot of people wouldn't get that.
I would struggle, I think, to be in a relationship with someone who didn't understand. So yeah, this time we were a lot better, but even so, there were moments where we were both thinking.
Yeah, of course. No, but no, don't. I wouldn't even say it like that, because that probably is perceived like
that's normal. Like,
that's completely normal. That's not anything like the first prep.
No,
because the way that was worded, it was like, oh, even this time. No,
but even this time, what I mean, going off of what Finn said, is we have moments where, even though we understand,
you have that with anybody, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%. You get short. We were talking about this yesterday. You're so selfish that your consideration for someone else is lesser than what you're doing and what your steps are.
If anything, that makes it probably is easier in a sense when you're both prepping, because you're both just focused on yourself. Whereas like Shannon, bless her, like, she'll do something that I'd usually laugh at, or I'd watch her. Like, she'll be doing like a stupid dance, and I'd usually watch her and laugh. And now I'm just like, and like, I can tell she's doing it, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna watch. I just need to go to sleep.
Bless her.
So then, post prep, first prep, that was when I felt like we actually liked each other.
Yeah.
Like, we both were like, oh, actually, we do get on. Like what we first found, we actually got on with.
After 1 week of kind of like eating and hanging out after our first show, we were like, okay, this is actually quite nice. It's nice. I actually enjoy time with you now. I feel like there's less stress.
Yeah, you came to Norfolk like a few months after that, and then like obviously we did a few things like for my birthday in January in Leeds, and then like I think at that point, like, I'd already knew, like, the foundations weren't there, but the initial impressions from, and like we still did stuff during the prep, and I was like, there's definitely, like, the systems were there, they just hadn't been like unlocked because we hadn't really had time for them to blossom. And then by like, I don't know, after a few months, I was like, okay, cool, I actually do love her. I do actually like this girl. Yeah, I guess I do like her.
It was probably, like you say, maybe the start of the new year. Like, even up until the start of the new year, you'd probably still be like, oh yeah, I don't know, like whenever we'd chat about it. And then it got to a point where you just never spoke about her anymore. Yeah. And it was like, I guess that means, because the only time you spoke about her before was when you were moaning.
Yeah, which is normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you're not going
I'll never just go, oh, Shannon's been great today.
Shannon's been so good this week.
What a good gal.
But like, you literally, it used to be like every day, post-session. Like, you'd never say anything in the session. Like, we'd never, obviously, never impact the training session, but post-session every day, you'd be moaning about something else. Like, and I'd always
Which is odd, because I probably hadn't messaged him that day. Because of how
bad you were.
No, in the sense, because you hadn't
obviously
responded.
you didn't have, like, it's difficult. You don't have anyone to talk to, do you? Like, because you can't talk really to Sania about it. Like, like, obviously you can talk to your mum about it, but then, like, it's difficult because your mum's just going to be saying, like,
Sakharov.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't let her don't let her take away from your, like,
what you're doing.
It's difficult though. But yeah, I guess the moral of the story is probably don't get into a relationship just before a prep or during a prep, and if you do, then understand that it's not going to be like the norm.
Yeah, you're not going to be acting yourself, and like you almost have to kind of view things a bit objectively and take a bit of a step back. And like, I don't know, I knew that like there was definite love and feelings there. That's why I think we both stuck through it. But it was definitely pretty rocky. And then that obviously, like, since then, it's been
sound.
Even before then, it was sound during. It was just the last couple of months where we were both a bit like, Jesus Christ.
We were like 22 weeks into a diet at that point.
Yeah.
Like, we were very, like, and obviously it had been my first ever serious diet. So I lose a couple of kilo, mini cut, 8 weeks, cry about that before, done.
Yeah.
22 weeks, first time, it was completely new to me.
Yeah.
So like a first prep, you just don't know what your feelings are going to be. Like you don't know how to manage them. You don't know what you're allowed to feel. You don't know if you're being erratic, because you can't justify or compare it to something else. Whether this time around, I was able to go, right, this is what I did wrong. This is what I need to improve upon.
Manage it a lot better.
Manage it a lot better.
Speaking of this prep, I mean, it was really easy, wasn't it? Like, I'd say, like, we maintained...
Because you're both soft.
No, I definitely, like, looking at, I got my comparison photos from the Amateur Olympia. It's not looking good. Like, I think my prep was...
That's just the standard, isn't it?
I think I definitely wish I came in a lot leaner in every single one of my shows, like a good 10-15% leaner. But this is the leanest I had to get. Like, what I didn't realise is that toned figure condition is a lot softer than bikini condition, specifically because I hold so much fat in my lower body that it was just... we just didn't realise, but this is why we did this season, to kind of go, right, what is it that we need? I definitely came in quite soft for my first show, which was North East, I think a week after your show. And then I had the 10 days of hell, this exact same time as Reece, where we literally just said, right, I was like, I'm not showing up like that again, this needs to be better. So I literally just did 70 minutes of cardio a day, very minimal carbs, not no carbs, just vibes like Reece on a rest day, but very, very minimal carbs, 20k steps, weighted vest. It was really tough, but I found it tough physically, but mentally I was like, I need to do it. I am absolutely fine. I need to do it. Yeah. And then from that point, I felt pretty good about myself going into the Amateur Olympia show, and then I stood next to these girls and I was like, oh my god, I look like I'm in an off season.
I don't think that's even a condition thing though, it's just muscle.
I said the same.
I'd say it's condition and muscle though.
No, I think
muscle brings condition.
I think this is one thing, Sania. I think you do. I've said this to you. I said that to Tom, like when the second you got off, and the one thing you keep saying is condition this, condition that.
Yeah, you could pull off another 10 pounds and you'd still look like you just need more muscle.
Yeah, it is muscle. Like condition can always be.
I'm glad I did it though, because it's put me into perspective, and it's in a way humbled me as well.
The standard there was a joke. Like the ridiculous. Bikini girls, like I said, I was backstage, and I'm not joking. Every 10th girl that I saw, I was like, she looks like a pro. Yeah. Like every 10th girl that walked by me had striated delts. I guarantee
you they'll get pro cards.
And like lines in their glutes, and I was like, sick. Like it was ridiculous. Like there wasn't like when you look at you from the front, I was like awesome, but then like you're so young in other areas, we just needed more muscle.
Yeah, my front, I feel like it's definitely more muscle on the lower. I've literally only trained my glutes for like a whole entire year. Like it's really not long.
Shows though, done it, like the difference that body fat plays and how much you can hold. Like it's the same with anybody. Like you pull off a lot of body fat and you go, oh actually, I don't have a good X body part. I'm just fat. Yeah. Like it's true. Like my glutes were mint in off season, and they're average. Like,
I thought I'd have pretty decent glutes with how big my bum gets.
Yeah, but it's just where you hold fat.
Yeah, like it's
the same with loads of people.
But it excites me because I know that what I need to get in order to even get top 5. Like I went on the stage, I did my individual routine. As soon as I turned around, so they were looking at me, front pose, cool. They were looking at me, having a little chat between themselves. As soon as I turned back from my rear pose,
thank you, Sania Kelly.
Thank you, please leave. And I was like, and they weren't even looking at me. No. And it was like, and then I was right at the very side of the stage.
Nice coach there. Yeah.
I came 7th, which everyone was like, oh, that's really good, but what they don't know is out of 7.
Was it?
Yeah.
But the 6 of the girls.
The 6 girls were going for pro cards.
Yeah,
like,
they were wicked.
It was the high. I would personally say it was, out of all of the open classes, probably one of the highest standard classes. You look at the category D, which I was meant to be in. The standard of that was very mediocre.
Why
and there was
not?
like
No.
Because I was a centimetre taller than the cutoff. So even though I was in that for my regional, I wasn't in that for the Amateur Olympia because I think there was so many in category D. They were like, right, push you up. But like Reece said to me backstage, like the one thing that I said, I was like, as long as I don't get dead last. So I was a bit gutted when they were like top 5, and I was like, you know, I said to Reece, I was like, I don't think I need to be here, but the guy kept ushering me backstage, and I was like, oh, what's going on?
Do you want to talk about the preparation for like the actual show day, like in the sense of the show day itself, because it was horrendously ran, wasn't it?
Oh my god, I don't want to chat shit about the Federation because I would absolutely love to compete with them again. You never know, someone might listen to this.
No,
But
just be honest.
Someone might listen to this. We get a lot of listeners, thank you.
It was just a ball ache, wasn't it?
no,
It was
it
just
was-
a long day.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe button's bottom right, guys.
It was just awful.
Tam was a mess. The registration was like
So
2
yeah,
hours.
oh my god. So
It was
basically,
slow as anything, inefficient.
Would you like to explain it?
It's just
Sounds
awful.
like it is.
He's asking me.
Just awful.
It was like registration usually for most you're in, you check in, you get your badge,
you're in, you're
you
in.
leave.
Yeah.
Once you're in, you're in. However, I was number 701, and that's
Jesus.
the first day.
Lucky number that as well for you, isn't it?
I'm really lucky. Came 7th as well.
Oh my god.
And yeah, it took me, I was in the queue for 2.5 hours to actually just say, yes, I'm here, here's your paper.
What stood up for that long?
Stood up for that long. I was absolutely dying. My lower back was in so much pain. Then it took another 10 minutes to just get my height checked.
It's a good job you didn't go when you was feeling that ill.
Oh
I was
my
on the
God.
sofa dying. I was
I
literally
said to
lying
him,
in
I was
my
like,
own puddle of sweat.
don't worry, but I didn't even realise it would take that long. So
That is bad.
fucking
It shouldn't
hell,
take that
It
long.
was so rough.
Even like half an hour being stood up at that point, like just before a show, it's like not what you want.
Well, it gets worse. I get my badge, I get everything, and then because I booked tan with them, for some reason over there, they don't do things online. So you had to go there and book your tan time. They literally just go, oh, what category you go bikini? They go 3 o'clock. When they could literally say, or email, all bikini competitors at 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
this, and this. Or they could just send out a massive email, right? I waited an hour and a half in the tan line just to get my tan time. That was 4 hours. Then I couldn't get a taxi home. I had to find
So this
someone.
was the day before the
This
show,
was the
yeah?
day before the show. I was on my feet for 4 hours. I was stressed. I
You
was
would've
tired.
won.
Was
You
everyone
would've
else
won
in the
if it
same
wasn't
boat then?
there.
Everyone. Yeah, absolutely.
So it wasn't
everyone.
like people had slots and they knew when to go. It was just
No.
literally everybody had to stand up and wait.
Yeah, everyone had to stand up and wait. But the only thing is, I was also on my own, so it was just so draining.
Yeah, you sort of
and-
almost
yeah.
picture a really nice, exciting weekend and it ends up being like that. so.
Yeah, and then oh my god, on the day you get your tan. They just do 2. They don't do base tan. They just do 2 coats, which that whole tanning process was slow as well. I waited an hour and 10 minutes. I got there early, bear in mind as well, before my tan time. I waited an hour and 10 minutes to actually get my tan. Not to mention, when you get your tan there was kids running around. I think kids of the people who were tanning. So there was 2 little boys running around looking at Fanny's boobs and butts, because all of us
Lucky
girls were
lads.
just like this.
Yeah. What a childhood.
Yeah.
Wish mine was
What the
like
fuck? No, but
Mine was
seriously,
cocks.
what the hell?
that.
But
I
then there was
just at home with
also
my dad.
men up there. There was men up there. There was people videoing. Like
Really?
it was so. Obviously most people don't care because they don't
Stepping on
care. Yeah,
stage
stepping
and-
on
yeah.
stage. But personally, for me, like I'm not gonna lie, like the only male I want to see me full blown naked
Who's
is
your dad?
Reece. Yeah.
With my dad.
Sure about
No,
that.
Reece and my dad.
Just quickly move on.
my dad.
So it was just very, and they just allowed it. But the
Yeah.
whole process
That
of
is
it is
weird. That.
elongated. Like, and with PCA, you're in the hut for what, 5 seconds to get a tan. For 1 coat, it took this lady 25 minutes. I had to dry and then get another coat.
Oh my God.
It was just
You'd
so
think for an
long.
amateur Olympian,
No,
a
and
show
then-
that
no,
busy, you'd
and
think
then
they'd
the
be a
show
lot
day
more
itself,
efficient.
like I was having to run up multiple times and be like, "Who's on? When? What? Like what? Like luckily, like I can just chat." And I was just
I
chatting.
don't know how
crap.
you got backstage.
Yeah, I don't know.
You
Yeah,
just-
literally. I just snuck around and I was like chatting to them and I was like, so how many are in the class? And I was like having to do everything, not for you, but like there was no communication. It wasn't like, so there was.
That was what was good at FitX, is it? Like they'd tell you exactly how long you were going to be on, or how long until you were on, how many were on the class now. Like it was helpful.
It was literally just
it was like open class E, please go. Like, and we were like, fucking hell, didn't even have time to pump.
Yeah.
And then what they don't tell you is that, oh, by the way, you just need to go backstage. You're not going to be on for 20 minutes. I thought Reece haven't had enough time to pump, so I was stressing out because they said, everyone backstage, open class E. Yeah. They were proper telling you about it. And then I was like, Reece, I'm not actually going to be on for like another 25 minutes with sound. But the initial thought process was, fuck.
Yeah. You were there backstage the whole time. That's cool.
Like, it was nice because I would have felt... I don't think I would have dealt with it as well if Reece wasn't there, because I was just very much questions. That obviously that was in total my 6th show total, so I was still pretty new to it.
Seasoned. I've only done one.
I'm not seasoned.
Yeah, you're the least experienced.
Oh, yeah, crikey.
It's mad though, isn't it? You don't realise Finn's the least experienced.
I feel like I'm the most experienced, like, because I competed the earliest and I'm the oldest, but like in terms of the shows that I've done.
Actual shows,
I forget that you've only done one show.
It's because I'm just such a good night. Did you see that message I got about being close to Keithy?
No. Oh yeah, I saw the story. I did,
That's why I thought I was going to be a massive 160 pounds on stage.
No. So yeah, that's your. I mean, you did the first show, the
give us more.
PCA.
Carry on with the story of the day.
Yeah, if you want. Oh yeah, okay.
Because like you pretty much you've gone from the day before, the day of, pre-stage, so then like take through the rest.
You've been called up. Meanwhile, I'm there getting told off for being sat on a sofa that I shouldn't be sat on.
He was sat on the judge's sofa. Backstage was a lot different.
Started judging.
No, mate. Honestly, it's just there was like there was just like a little like indent in like the where backstage was. You could just walk around and literally sit by the judge's table, which you couldn't get to if you were in the normal crowd. Yeah. So Sania comes on. I'm just gonna sit here. So I literally just sat like next to the judge. I got judged like here, and I got the guy coming up to me going,
"Oh yeah, 701's good, isn't she?"
Yeah, he's like, sir, you can't sit here. And I was like, my girlfriend.
Like, as I was doing my individual walk as well, so it was like.
And I said, I'll move the second she's done, and then he was like, okay, and then he just stood at the side, just watching me shaking his head because I'm not going to move. I'm like taking photos.
Yeah. You can hear in the video, it's my girlfriend. It's my girlfriend.
Honestly, so I just snuck on, and I was like, I just snuck on. I was just like the judges. They were wearing their shirts, and I'm just there like in a t-shirt. Like, right. You probably would have seen me if there was like a live stream, just sat there going, next to the judges. So yeah, so basically, I snuck behind. You were on. You got on.
Backstage was a lot different. I definitely have to say, Two Bros in general, when I competed in the regional, although all of the girls were lovely, it was completely different to PCA. Just I think not the standard. I think the more you have a lot more. What's the word?
It was more competitive at a higher standard.
No, you have a lot more pressure. I think because of the standard of the show. In the sense, it's Two Bros. A lot more people, I feel like, I don't want to say it, but I feel like the people who compete in Two Bros, I feel like for the majority of take it a lot more seriously.
Oh yeah.
Than other federations.
You don't get many people going into Two Bros that are like, I'm just gonna, I'm making up numbers. It's for experience, getting my feet wet.
You do get people like that, but I feel backstage just generally like that was a lot quieter. People were more blind, like had blinders on. Yeah. In the Amateur Olympia, I tried to speak to this girl that was next to me the whole time on stage, backstage. I can't remember her name.
She was just growling at you doing single arm
Not
rows
growling, but you know when they just literally don't talk
Freaky
to you.
Vibes.
Yeah, just doing loads of press ups and then going.
Do you know that is?
Where's she going?
You don't know who was doing that backstage?
Who?
Mr. Freaky himself.
Freaky Vibes, Joe Gillen.
Joe Gillen.
Who?
Do you not know Freaky Joe Gillen?
Don't lie, you know Joe Gillen.
You know Joe.
Shout out Joe Gillen.
Yeah, big listener of the pod. You should know Joe Gillen.
Should I?
Yeah, you should. Single arm rows.
If you don't know him, get to know him.
Single arm banded rows grunting pre-stage at UK the FBA show. Careful.
Oh, scary.
No, come on. We told you about this.
Is this Physique Dude?
We spoke to him about this.
Oh, Physique Dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I remember you telling me about this.
So is it those sort of vibes?
No, it's just no.
That's a shame.
It's just
people ignoring and not talking.
Do you want to keep talking over me?
It's our podcast. We can kick you off if you want.
So you don't have to be.
I'll go. But no, it's just quiet. people just don't want to talk to you. They don't want to be your friend. Whether I'm quite backstage, like a friendly person, and I'll chat to a point, but like there was just so short. I'm like, oh, how you feeling? Yeah, good.
I finished dead last.
If
you had been
in
switched
mode.
on in athlete mode, yeah, you would have.
You weren't in competitor mode. You're in friend mode.
Yeah.
You're not there to make friends.
No, but I always feel like, you know, it's nice to just be a little bit friendly. You know, like there's nothing like I get it if you're nervous, but there was definitely like zero of that back there, and that's the only thing that I dislike about it is because it already is personally I think quite a competitive, lonely sport. If you come together at a show, you might as well. There was a few girls that were generally really nice to me, but then there was a lot of other girls that were just.
Do you think that's maybe a language barrier though? If they're like, if you're competing against people who
No,
aren't from England,
a few of the girls on my lineup were English,
okay,
and I knew them because they had their coaches there, and I knew of them and all that kind of stuff. It's just more so I think. I don't know, they should definitely not have seen me as a competitor because I did not even, wasn't anywhere
So backstage,
near.
did you know that you weren't at the standard?
No, I don't think you did.
No, I
Because
didn't.
your shape and structure is very good.
I thought that would carry me a lot. Like, it already did throughout
So
the
backstage,
two
what were
rows.
your expectations like?
My
Did you
expectations
think,
were
I
just
can get top 5 or top 3 or?
not top 5. I didn't even know how many was in my category until I stepped on stage. I literally had no idea. Again, lack of communication. I thought maybe it's a busy one, maybe it's not. And a lot of these girls are pumping up and not posed, so even so you can't really see, and it's very dark back there.
Yeah.
My expectation was just not to come dead last. That's what I came. But I literally had none. I went into it going, right, this has been cool. I've spent a lot of money on it. Just enjoy it. And I don't know if you would agree, it was probably the most calm that I have been on stage, considering it's the biggest show I've done.
I'm taking credit for that pre-stage. How I was running around, being an errand boy, helping you pump up.
You sat down and watched the football match, Reece.
Yeah, when we were both lying down, cup final. I was watching City ping the ball around.
So post, like as soon as you came off stage, how did you feel? Or as soon as you got like called out as last, or you didn't get placed, like?
Initially gutted.
Then we had a chat, didn't we?
Yeah.
And, like, we went outside.
Yeah, Reece was like, should we just... Because initially they wouldn't tell... Because obviously judges might...
You took my role of
Yeah.
commiserations.
It was like one of those things where it's like, it is what it is, but I was so happy. Like initially you could see that I was just a bit
flat.
deflated, and then like, obviously we had a chat, we got outside, and then I realised, well actually I came here and I did it, and that's all that I wanted.
Now I get to eat whatever I want.
No, I didn't even really think. It was more so I was proud that I even never. If you told me in 2021 that I'd be competing at the Amateur Olympia and be in a position to even do it or want to do it, I would have gone, there's no chance you're seeing me there. And I think me actually going up there and putting myself out there specifically to be a competitive person but also for business, I was like, I've done that and I've shown that I can do it, and now I'm going to lead on from that. And I felt really proud of myself in the fact that I had done that, and I've shown a lot of the girls who follow me, there is so much that you can achieve if you just go for it. Because you told me years ago, I wouldn't have done it at all. Not one bit. I would have laughed you off. A, because of how much it costs, but B, because it's such a big show.
Yeah.
And people hold such a high expectation. Like, going into the show, I was like, I know I'm not going to be the best. And I feel like already that can mess with you.
Yeah, it can be positive or negative. That can help because it can mean that you're really relaxed and you're sort of like, I know I'm not going to be the best, but like, let's just enjoy it. But then also it can be like you're going into it a bit deflated already because you're like, well, I'm not going to win. So
and you're not putting effort in cardio, and you're like, oh, I'll have an extra 20 grams of
it's
this.
not really. Yeah. You almost need to.
I kind of used
have that
it
right balance.
as like, I feel like the motivation to be good at the show wasn't there because I knew I wasn't going to be the best. But I think also having my business, being a posing coach, doing all that kind of stuff, that was my pressure, because I was like, if I don't show up,
You didn't smile, did you, when you did your PCA?
I didn't smile, no, because do you know why? Because who was it? I think Tom said backstage he was pushing me, smile, 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 act calm. No, not smile, sorry. He was like, be calm, be calm. Like everyone was telling me, be calm. Don't shake, don't do this. So in my head I was like, I wasn't relaxed because I was like, right, I need to be calm.
I feel like it's your forte, if anything, it's what you do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, nobody should be telling you what to do on your eye walk when you kind of already know what you're doing.
No, but it is the pressure. Like, I remember, I've thought like, you know, like the Instagram reel that they put up.
Yeah.
I remember thinking to myself before like every PCA show, I'm going to get posts on their Instagram and I'm going to have a load of people watch this. I better look alright.
You looked awkward.
What do you mean?
On yours, you looked awkward. On your first show.
I got, you know, PCA said that...
Sam's video was better.
Yeah.
So, we've pretty much spoken about the show. So, post-show and obviously the rest of the holiday.
Yeah.
Fill us in.
So, post-show, we got off Oreo.
Well, post-show, no, actually. Me and Reece sat backstage. Oh, yeah. We sat backstage. We bought protein bars before. And we kind of just wanted to chill, just me and him, just so I could let my feelings and thoughts just calm down a little bit before we went to go see Nat and Beth, because I just needed a moment to kind of just go, oh, that's actually happened, but also I wanted to stay backstage. God forbid the judges put me 5th place and I needed to go out there. But then once we realised, obviously, we weren't there, we decided to try these 3 grenade protein bars after I downed some water that Reece literally was like...
Yeah, because you weren't drinking enough.
I wasn't thirsty at all.
And then you got off and I was like, please drink. I was like, you're not going to... Like, she had some cookie dealers and stuff. And I was like, you're not eating them until you just drink some water. I was like, drink some water. And then she wanted to have a cookie. I was like, that's not... You're going for dinner. I wasn't trying to be... I wasn't trying to control you, but I was like, you're going to regret it because you're not... It's going to sit in your stomach. So I was like, right, why don't... I said, we've got 3 protein bars that we haven't tried. Why don't you have a bite of each? I'll have a bite of each with you. And you were like, yeah, that's a good idea. And I was like, get it. So
because you were involved and we hadn't eaten.
Yeah.
I felt like you were excited, so I got excited.
No, I made it exciting because I was like, I know what you're like in the sense of last time it was just everything. So I was like, let's be careful, let's be clever. So yeah, we did that, and then like I said, we went for a walk afterwards. Like we walked outside. And carry on. So, yeah, we did that. We then headed back out, got some photos.
Yeah, we got some photos. Then we went... So, I booked a burger place because that's just what I was fancying.
Which is weird because you're never
a burger
Sania hates burgers usually. Very, very odd. Like, I've never... I don't think you've ever... We've been for one burger together in our entire relationship.
The thing is, like, I'm the same. I feel like even now, like chatting about burgers, I think, oh yeah, I think I'll get a burger post show. But like off season, I hated burgers. Yeah. Like I literally couldn't think of anything worse than the smell or like a dirty, like you'd walk past
messy
like Fat Buns or Boo Burger in Loughborough, and like it made me feel sick every time.
Yeah, even now, don't want one.
Yeah.
But
I do.
You just hungry. But yeah, we booked a place in Alicante, which was quite nice. And you know why? I think it's because last time after my first show, I had a medium Domino's pizza. After 3 slices, or 4 slices, I can't remember how many, but it was like not even half of the pizza. I was so bloated and in so much pain.
Probably because you're eating it so quick.
I wasn't eating it quick. I just think there was a lot of volume and cheese, and that just messed with me a lot. So I thought a burger would be a safe option. I know I'll enjoy it. So we had chicken strips, cheese balls, and a massive burger. It was like a 3-tier burger, wasn't it?
Did you finish it?
Had. No, I didn't.
Did you?
Reece did though, fat bastard.
He was a fat bastard.
That was legitimately. Wasn't that my only? I think it was my only proper meal the whole day.
Oh yeah.
I think I lived that whole day off a wrap.
Protein. And, you had 2 wraps. No, I had 2 chicken wraps.
No. 3 individual. Mate.
It was just a wrap.
I had 60 grams of carbs the entire day, and I think I had 2 servings of chicken.
You lost weight after, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I did.
And then we went out for ice cream. And the ice cream was ridiculously big. Like we went for 3 scoops. And then I had a Lotus cinnamon roll. Did I have anything after that? I don't think I did, because I felt that for me, maybe for you, you're like, fucking hell, that's a lot. For me, Finn, last time, I'm pretty sure I hit 15,000 calories post-show at the point of 2 a.m. and I got off stage at 6.
Yeah.
Mental, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
imagine your body. Think about your body. Like, I'm not saying you, but like, imagine your
nothing,
body not understanding what's going on and like what it's been doing and the fact that it's been dieting for so long and then that.
All of a sudden, just
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I
Isn't
don't
it?
recommend it. I was rolling on the sofa in so much pain, like ridiculous amount of pain, for my first prep. But at that point, I just didn't care. Couldn't give a fuck. Didn't
Felt
care.
full.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even feel full.
Felt
Then
full.
I
It's
just,
complete.
I was dipping Snickers bar into peanut butter, like pure,
Head had fully gone.
just fully gone. There was no going home. But then the next day, again, this was what we were talking about. I was pretty good.
You ate a bit too. Sania was good for Sania, but it was poor when we look back at what you could have done.
Especially the time frame that I
we trained.
ate.
Like,
yeah.
I trained, so basically it was like I'd ate my normal training day food, and
I
Sania
had a croissant, a pan au chocolat and a grenade bar for my first breakfast.
Then 45 minutes
And then
later,
45
pre-workout meal with me.
Pre-workout meal. What did I have pre-workout?
I think you had something on plan, like it was like a chicken and rice.
I think it was chicken and rice, and that was it.
Oh no, I
Dipped in
think
peanut
it
butter.
was cream of rice actually.
Was it cream of
Yeah.
rice? But that was like in a very short space of
45
time.
minutes, yeah.
And then I trained, felt great. I felt absolutely fantastic.
Full from the burger, ice cream, pan of chocolate pump.
And then after dinner, we trained, I had a small bowl of cereal and protein bar because I had milk. So more dairy, may I just add, which I hadn't had a lot of dairy prior to the show. Then we had food.
Lunch.
Lunch.
We got a burrito.
And I got loaded fries with cheese and pork, as well as the burrito. Made
Bad
me feel
decision.
really bad. That's when it started to get bad. Then very shortly after
What
that.
day is this? This Sunday or
This is
Monday?
the day after the show, so Sunday. And then Reece, we went past an ice cream place and Reece went to have a look. Really good ice cream place, so we decided to get ice cream. Again, massive ice cream. Again, dairy.
No wonder you've both been ill.
I didn't eat the chips, so like I
No,
chocolate,
but
like
like you say, what you've been having
Yeah.
to then. To be fair, mate, even your like crap load. I'm surprised you didn't get ill. To
But
that.
he did
But
pretty
you didn't.
much.
Yeah, but you didn't eat
No.
like loads of. You had
He
like
had
one
ice
day.
cream, he had burger, he had everything that I had on that day to feed into a show.
No, but you had like 8 meals a day, and like like spread
And
out within
yeah.
45 minutes.
And then for dinner we went for an Italian where I had a pasta and a bite of a calzone, and then that's when all hell broke loose. My stomach. It's like it was so weird because I wasn't.
Your actual calories weren't that high.
No.
It was just frequent meals of
Yeah.
food you're not used to.
But then as I stopped eating, it got worse as we were getting home. So my stomach was so far out and I was in so much pain, like the most pain I'd ever been before. It was then
Throwing up.
It was then 2:30 in the morning. I woke up. There was no aircon in our room, so I was really hot and I was sleeping. I was sweating, and obviously I was still really, really full. 2:30 a.m. I get up, go into the living room where there's aircon. I lay down for a split second. I get straight back up, run to the toilet, fall onto my knees, and just projectile vomit 3 times. And I was in so much pain the day after because I had so much acid going on in my stomach, and I hadn't really been to the toilet or anything like that. And then the day after that, I got the shits.
And that's been literally how it has
And
been
that's
since.
still here.
Yeah.
And I got that from Reece. That's actually a bug.
Yeah.
I was sick. I made
Stay
myself
away,
sick
yeah.
from food, and then.
So you managed this. You managed this prep so much better, but still made yourself sick.
But
from
this is
food.
what we were talking about. I didn't make myself sick last time, so I think it's just a number of things of eating closely together, being in somewhere really, really hot,
Yeah.
being quite stressed.
Different
I think it's.
water, different like sort of
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get ill on holiday a lot anyway,
Yeah.
don't you? Like,
So I think it was. If I had done that in the UK, I genuinely think I probably would have been fine.
No, like
been
your
leaner.
calories.
Probably got leaner.
No, your
carry on.
Your calories were like I said, you didn't eat like a massive
Not
massive
Sania
amount.
twat
yeah.
level.
Yeah, like I said to you, I was impressed with how you were because
Yeah.
like usually
I would
the
have
one
gone past
time-
a shop and I would have grabbed something.
Yeah.
But I was very like, for me anyway, you're probably thinking of that
No, I'm
like.
not.
No,
Normal.
genuinely, I think like, most people are way, way, way worse than
Yeah.
that. Like that's a pretty good post show,
Mm.
you know.
And then after that, it took me 3 hours to eat Weetabix and a banana.
Gone.
Yeah, even to this day, I don't really have much of an appetite. So.
Yeah.
To this day, sounds like it's like months
day.
later.
It
It's like
does
2 days
feel
later.
so long ago
does
that
feel
I
like-
competed.
yeah, it does feel. The last like 4 days
It
have
was
been a
Saturday.
blur.
What the fuck?
Right, let's move on, and we'll wrap it up with like this final question, I guess, and then we're going to do a separate Q&A episode, guys. So, basically, it's not really a question, I guess. It kind of is. Plug your business and tell us your plans for the future. Like, where do you see your business going? Because I know you're like changing it up and stuff. I don't want to spoil anything.
So, obviously, I launched Sania Fitness Posing, and that is so onto me. It's very much my name, and it doesn't really give me much room for growth. For example,
So does this mean something new's coming out?
it does. I'm about to plug it.
Oh my god.
So
Wow.
I don't know
It's
if
an
it's going to be.
exclusive.
I don't know if I don't know if it's going to be out on the. Is
That's
this going to be out on the
exclusive,
16th or not? Before the 16th. That's next Friday.
It'll probably be coming out on that day. We'll try. We'll get it to come out on that day if you want.
So I can say it then.
It'll be out in the morning though. Like,
So no, I won't say it then.
No, but people that listen,
You
you
think
might. It
anyone
might
cares?
have.
Yeah,
might
fair
have,
enough.
It might have 100 views, and then people will go, "Oh, cool, that's." And then you release it at midday. Yeah, sound plug it. Go on.
So I've never said it out loud. It's quite scary. So basically, Sania Fitness Posing SFP didn't really leave me much room to grow. I've built a really good community through female bodybuilders, and that's what a lot of people. That's what I feel like is missing in this industry is like genuine community. There's community between coaches, but it doesn't really leave you much room to kind of actually go out there. Especially with being a posing coach, I have connections here, there and everywhere. Like, it's not like where a client is stuck with me for months and months and months. They can just come for a session, but they're added to the community page. And because I saw such an importance on that for females and just how they communicated with each other and how they helped each other, I really, really wanted to expand on that. But also for future growth, I knew that I have grown out of Sania Fitness Posing. Because I want to grow my business and maybe bring other posing coaches on and, you know, not have my name as the brand now, because I feel like I needed that to begin with, because that's who I was selling myself, but now I'm selling my service and what I believe in the community. It's so much more than what I started with. So I'm rebranding. Shall I say the name? Yeah? Shall I do it? So I'm rebranding now to Limitless Flow Posing.
Oh,
Wow!
Oh my god.
mind blown.
Limitless flow.
Oh my god.
It's as if you guys didn't know. And the reason being is because a lot of people come to me for their flow. And I feel like everything is limitless in the sense that you can never really reach your level. You can always better yourself. You're never perfect, ever. So I thought that was a really good name. It suits LFP as well, and everything like that. So it kind of goes on from there. But not just a shitty little rebrand that I'm posting on Instagram. That's not the case.
So wait, you're not just doing a reel and then nothing changes.
No.
But you're saying you're leveling up.
Yeah,
You get a
yeah,
logo.
You're actually leveling up.
I'm actually leveling
You're actually
up.
changing stuff.
Yeah.
You're actually improving your service.
Like what we did with the podcast. We actually leveled it up.
Yeah.
I know when people go rebrand and nothing changes, I'm like, cool.
Well, you know who they've signed up to for the fitness mentor. That's for sure.
Right, what's changing it?
So
Nothing.
Yeah, we are
About
leveling
that.
up. Nothing's changing. I've just got a new logo.
just a new logo. So I'm got a new website, and essentially there is a membership and community part to it that you can sign up to. And basically what that is the membership site has a video library of loads of different types of videos, very similar to like the Physique Collective and JP, very more similar to the JP kind of forum. Where you get the video library, which will be updated every month. You get a Q&A with me, not just about posing. This is about just general female bodybuilding, with special guests and stuff that I've got lined
just
up.
about bodybuilding. Can't ask like some like weird perverted questions.
No, and it's also just for females.
That's a shame. What, are you not allowed
What?
males?
You're cutting out a whole.
I'm not. I don't cater
that's
for men,
sexist.
do I? I don't pose men.
No. Well,
And
what
also, I
about-
want it to be like safe for
What
females.
if it's a they?
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that, unfortunately.
You know when you sign up, is it female or male? Or
No,
it's
you
got
don't
other-
have to specify your gender.
Oh, so I can
So you
sign
can
up.
sign
So
up.
you could do it, but it's for females and you'd
I'm gonna,
reclaim
I
them.
identify
I'm gonna,
as a
I'm gonna
female.
sign up and be in the forums.
And I can still take you
literally-
off of it as well.
No, just chatting, like, and just like DM people, pretend to be a girl, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm actually a bloke. I'm actually Reece.
Catfish.
I'm actually a boyfriend, just chatting to all these girls."
But anyway, let's not find the.
Sorry, let's not put it down.
Yeah. And then where was I? I can't remember.
That sounds.
Oh,
Keep plugging
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
coming out on Friday. Time this is like, look out on Instagram.
But there's going to be a community part where people like the forum, like literally like forum on JP's website where they can, you know, go through their preps, post things, people can like, comment, you can chat, make group chats within it. There's also literally like, you know, the educational portal on JP's. There's going to be that for poses for each specific category as well. So they have like an online tutorial. So a lot is happening.
If you're a female or a male who doesn't want to specify their gender,
If you're
because
a
she doesn't
they.
ask, sign up.
Yeah.
How much
Right.
is it?
So for the monthly subscription for the membership, it's £9.99.
More than JP, that. Might as well
It's
sign
expensive,
Up. Yeah,
that.
might as well sign up with
Well,
JP.
it's worth it.
JP's is cheaper, guys. So
Yeah.
like JP.
Just ask JP to do some posing.
You know, Corin might be better than me.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, that's that. Sania, you've been good.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
coming on. We're now going to get into the Q&A, so look out for that, guys. But yeah, that'll be that. Thanks as always, guys. When you're uploading any story tags, please tag Sania, because we always do these guest episodes, and they only ever tag us.
And if you're one of those people who only tags me or only tags Reece, tag us both, because every time we message each other about
There
it.
was a dude who put like a fantastic listen this morning doing his cardio, and he just tagged Finn.
The title's literally like Reece
Reece.
something, and then he just tagged me.
He tagged me fantastic listen
Every
this
time we
morning,
message
Finn.
each other.
Yeah, it's fantastic listen, fantastic podcast, Finn. Reece is in the title.
'Cause
Where's
they know,
my
they know
tag?
I do it.
No, awful.
Right, catch you in the next one. Like and subscribe, follow.
See you later.